Hello.
Rex.
Hey,
It's back.
I took a quiz for Dave.
Oh, good. Thanks, Rex.
This is all Dave's
Wait,
fault,
Rex,
not mine.
When am I?
So it's not. I guess there's like a bigger report, but it seems like it's telling me I'm a 6. What was your prediction? I guess I should.
I don't know you well enough. I thought because you're so playful. I thought you would maybe be more of a 7.
Okay.
That's like the upbeat, but also kind of impulsive. So I didn't know if that was you.
But both from the head, Amanda, right? Both 6, 7 head. Mm-hmm.
6.5, I think, is what.
Did they give you like the pie graph, Rex, where it's like some? Yeah. Was 7 high or no?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I really don't know you, but you're very
highest
playful.
is 6 and then 8.
Oh, okay.
But then I'm strong in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 also.
Yeah. You're so well balanced.
Well,
personality. That shows.
Yeah. It says that I'm anxious and risk averse.
That true? Very scared.
Well, he is now. Yeah.
I don't know. They moved from Florida all the way to Utah. That's pretty gutsy.
That's pretty risky. That's how I feel when I moved from Hawaii.
I am not risk averse. I definitely throw my feet in front of me and just there'll be some ground there.
Good.
I mean, I definitely like to be prepared. I like to look at things kind of like a chess game. I remember when I was younger, I used to play chess all the time, and I always like to have one piece, but always have 2 or 3 pieces always ready to protect it.
Yeah.
So protection is really important to me. Taking risks is important to me because I don't think you can advance without taking risks. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I definitely like to keep people safe around me, and I like to have things planned out, and I'm just kind of ready for what's going to come at me. But yeah, I don't know. I am a bit playful, so
yes, you are.
I think this test is broken.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't mention this in the show, but there's this band that I like called Sleeping at Last, and they have a song for every number. And so if you go listen to it, it actually was really beautiful. The first time I heard it, it felt like, oh my gosh, someone like really sees me and
really gets me.
It felt like they were like talking to me. I was like, oh, and like I got a little emotional. So go listen to the song and see if it speaks to you. Because I do think, I mean, there's parts of us, right? And Liz mentioned parts, like part of me doesn't want to accept that or look at that. And then like just trying to, I don't know, like see what resonates with you.
Sleeping at Last.
Yeah, my wife is a fan of that band.
Yeah. They're like, my kids are always like, Mom, not sleeping. It's like it is sleepy, like very calm, very chill. It's just a one-man guy. He like does lots of instruments and sings, but
yeah, it's a lot different than Metallica.
No, not like Metallica with your hardcore guitar in the background.
Yeah, that's one of my babies. But my wife is cool because she loves that kind of stuff, and then she'll go to Metallica and she likes Metallica and all that kind of stuff. So it's
variety at your house.
A lot of this sounds again is very reminiscent to me of emotional intelligence, of just being aware of your emotions, trying to regulate them, being aware of yourself, being aware of your thoughts and your feelings, and then trying to articulate them. How is this different than that?
We mentioned that in the thing, like the How We Feel app helps you understand your emotions and name them. And Brene Brown talks a lot about that too. I think that's really helpful to understand, like, how do I articulate what I'm feeling? This, I think, is deeper into like, who am I? Who's my soul? Not just my feelings or my emotions, but like, why am I reacting the way I am? There's a lot of like, this book actually has a lot of even like childhood examples of like how you were raised. And this was another thing I wanted to talk about, but my mom grew up in a really rough home. Like she had an alcoholic parents and abusive stepdad. And something that the book talks about a lot is that your essence of who you are, even through trauma or things in your life that are really hard, like the essence of you is never lost. Like it might be kind of covered up so I think it's a more spiritual look at like who I am deep in my soul, my like innate divine soul, I think is maybe the best way I could put it. So it's not just how I feel, but it's like who I am, which, you know, is the deepest question of our life. Like, who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose?
Right. That's right.
My daughter had a homework assignment given from one of her communications teacher yesterday. And she's like, Mom, it's asking me to like define who I am. I was like, yeah, that's good. Like, she's like, but it's so confusing because it's a cultural clash. She's like, I grew up in Hawaii, but I'm half Japanese. Like, I'm half Dutch from grandpa. Like, who am I? And like and it was actually really good. She's only 20 and just trying to figure herself out. But we did the type 2 and she's the same as me. So I feel like I can like understand her. And she's like, I knew I was just like you, Mom. Like, so it's just cute, like to help her understand herself and a deeper level of who I am.
So you're a 2?
Yeah. The helper. I need to be loved and I need everyone to like me.
Oh. Yeah, I know. I get that too.
And I want to like give and give and give. So,
yeah. And you're doing.
Liz, are you the same?
I'm the achiever, number 3. So does it matter that we're right next to each other? Amanda,
so we didn't even talk about that, but there is this thing when you take like the deeper test, they call it a wing. So like, since it's a circle of the numbers, so like you would be a 3-4 or a 3-2, like depending on which one you were closer to. So it's just a deeper understanding of like, and then there's so much to it. It's actually very complicated. It's like, but like knowing like when you're stressed, what number would you go to? And like your like unhealthy version of yourself sometimes tends to be the worst versions of a different number. So each number has like strengths and weaknesses. And so just understanding like it, like knowing who you are, like what number resonates the most with you. And this book actually tests you a little differently. It just has you read a couple paragraphs and say, which one describes me best instead of answering like all those questions. It's actually a lot easier to do. But mine was right. Like even just the long one online and then doing just the book one where it's just like a couple paragraphs and you have to just say, it's like C and X. And then they put it together and tell you what your number is.
And you got the same number, right? Both times.
Yeah. And so did Chad. So yeah, I think it's pretty.
And what's the name of that book? Let's talk about that real quick.
This is the one that The Wisdom of the Enneagram by Don Richard Riso. It actually has 2 authors and Russ Hudson.
And that was your thing. That was
the one I held up. I think it's really like, it's such a good explanation of it.
Oh, it was your Valentine gift, right?
Yes. My Valentine gift. Yeah.
You mentioned toilet paper roll during the interview. And this jumped out to me because I am a stickler for which way the toilet paper needs to be.
There is one right way.
It has to be the right way. It's a beard.
Well, does your wife care?
Not a mullet. No, she doesn't. But she has learned to care. Like, she generally puts it on the right way. But oh my gosh, that drives me crazy if it's not.
That's an act of love, right? Is like, I'm doing this for Rex. I'm putting this on the way he loves because I.
Yeah, every time I look at the toilet paper, I think about how much my wife loves me.
How much my wife loves me. She did it.
No, but I haven't thought about that, Liz, and I'm glad you pointed that out because I'm going to start thinking that, oh, she loves me. She put it on right.
And she did that for me because she doesn't care, right? It's not important to her, but I'm important to her. I think so.
I think she started like because then she's figured out, oh yeah, it's a lot easier to get it out this way than the other way. So that's done well.
Good.
It's done well. It's funny that you mentioned that because there are these little things. Like if something doesn't get done right, I am a little bit frustrated. Like, how did you not know this was the right way to do this?
Yeah.
So,
is that probably kind of the head part? Do you think, Amanda? When we have
it sounds like it
certain way to do
and
that,
like logical and logical. Like there's a right way, and you think things through maybe more than you feel them. But
I do have deep feelings about things. But yeah, I definitely like to be logical. Like just like studying history and seeing where did this particular idea come from and how did it get here? Because it has to make sense to me. Otherwise, I don't get it. But I'm probably a little too meticulous.
What was the name of his? What was it again? Oh, 6, 7. I can't remember. Rex, what were you?
6, 7. Just
6.
6 and 7. What's the name of that? What's that category?
You are a 6, right?
Yeah.
Is it the loyalist, I think? Sorry. Yep.
What did it say, Rex? Loyalist? What was number?
The loyalist. Engaging, responsible, defensive.
So Amanda's got it.
Sixes are defined by deep uncertainty and mistrust of the world. Wow, this sounds great. And by a desire to secure a safe position for themselves to defend against threats.
Mm.
I was going to be a cop at one time.
Yeah.
So sixes maintain a sense of vigilance, always anticipating and planning for the worst.
You did say you have to have a plan, and you had 3 chess in your chess match.
And that's always the way I've played it. And I've always, anytime I get into anything, I'm like, okay, well, if this fails, there'll be that backup. And if that fails, there'll be that backup. I've always
Do you do that in life too, Rex, with like planning? And do you do that in your life too, with like
Oh yeah, like when I ran my business, I always had like 3 fail safes. So if this failed, that would be the backup. And if that failed, that would be the backup. And if that failed, that would be the backup. And that fails, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I would always have redundancies, like extra anything I needed. So I've always looked at things like that. I have spare parts in the garage for cars, spare saw blades, spare cables. I mean, spare anything. So
there's a hero in that, right? He wants to always kind of be able to take care of things and people, and have an option for doing so. Plan B, plan A fails. We got B, C, D, E.
Yeah, that is always the way I look at things. So
that's so fascinating. I love it. Rex, any other questions that came up?
It gets frustrating though, because sometimes I wish somebody would do that for me. So like, hey, I'm holding all the plates over here. Does anybody care about what my plates over here?
Yeah.
So
I bet.
But I always try to be funny and joking about it. I had a really good grandfather when I was a little kid who was always great at like bouncing back from anything and keeping the mood high and going well. So that always had a big impression on me.
I bet.
But feeling safe is, like I said, that's a big thing for me too. Because growing up, when I was a kid at home, I didn't always feel emotionally safe.
I like that you brought that up, Rex. Like,
what?
I just think our childhood, we didn't talk as much about it, but I really do think there's a lot to look at from your childhood and understanding yourself. One of the things in the book has this little chart that it's called unconscious childhood messages. And just like knowing that, depending on who our parents were and how we were raised, a lot of times our type has like a kind of an unconscious like thing that we believe that's not okay to be. Like for a 2, it's not okay to have your own needs, which is like why it's hard for me to like ask for things. And then the 6 is it's not okay to trust yourself. And I wonder if like a space was created where it felt like unsafe, or like, I don't know if that resonates. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't.
No, that makes sense, because a lot of times I look for validity. If I do something, I'm like, okay, was that right? Was that good? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Or even being prepared, right? I don't trust that it's going to be okay. So I need to make sure there's all these backups, because I might not be able to, like,
for sure. But I'm always afraid of jamming my foot in my mouth, because sometimes I'll just say what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh, should I have said that?
Yeah. I can relate to that too.
Yeah.
I tend to be a little too honest sometimes. But
I love that you took the test, Rex. And
what?
I just love that you took the test and are thinking about it.
Oh,
I'd encourage you to see if your wife will take it, and then you can talk about like how can we help each other and understand each other better.
Yeah, well, I like how you mentioned it's a compliment to emotional intelligence, and it kind of augments that too, because it gives you a deeper sense of, okay, who am I and what am I? This made a little more sense made me a little more aware of the way I react to things, and kind of being more mindful of that. Yeah. But I would really feel like being emotionally aware and emotionally intelligent is definitely something that would help this. Because that was the biggest step for me in my relationship, and just kind of knowing me. And I've told this story 100 times, but when me and my wife first got married, I remember being upset about something at work, and she was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, going in the other room, I'm like, "I don't even know, because no one's ever asked me what's wrong."
Aww.
So it was so surprising. And then that started my next day I went to work. I'm like, okay, let's pay attention to see what might have bothered me. So
yeah.
How do I really feel? Right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do I feel? What do I think? Yeah, I remember.
And why? And trace it back, and then be like, "Oh, did I really need to be upset about that or worried about that? No, that's not a big deal." So.
I get it.
Any more questions for me?
You're so fun. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah. No, Amanda, you've been so generous with your time.
Bless you, Amanda.
Yeah.
It's been a delight.
Of course. Thank you. You guys are doing great work. Thanks for letting me be part of it.
Back at you, my friend.
Thank you so much for doing it.
Yeah, no problem.
This was fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, it took me a while to warm up and not be so nervous. So thanks for being patient with me.
Yeah. The timing was perfect.
Yeah.
You did great. I really liked it. You should come back. Good. You should be on the show every week.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's great.
Thanks for joining us today. Hey, do us a favor and take a second to subscribe to our podcast and the Utah Marriage Commission YouTube channel at Utah Marriage Commission, where you can watch this and every episode of the show. Be sure to smash the like button, leave a comment, and share this episode with a friend. You can also follow and interact with us on Instagram at Stronger Marriage Life and Facebook at Stronger Marriage. So be sure to share with us which topics you loved or which guests we should have on the show next. If you want even more resources to improve your marriage or relationship connection, visit strongermarriage.org, where you'll find free workshops, e-courses, in-depth webinars, relationship surveys, and more. Each episode of Stronger Marriage Connection is hosted and sponsored by the Utah Marriage Commission at Utah State University. And finally, a big thanks to our producer, Rex Polanis, and the team at Utah State University, and you, our audience. You make this show possible. The opinions, findings, conclusions, and recommendations expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of the Utah Marriage Commission.